Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 5 of Dirtmasters Unplugged, the fusion tuning build series between Dirtmasters and special projects, where we take a car which is typically not used for rallying and turn it into a full-on, highly competitive rally machine. Now in this episode we're taking the R32 Skyline, this is the premium model GT-R, and we're turning it into a Group B style rally machine. Now obviously there was never an official Skyline rally car, especially not in the Group B category, but basically we're taking a fusion of all these ideas and putting them together. So as always, I'll show you the mechanical setup that we've gone for to most importantly get the underbonnet aspect of the car right. As far as the visual aspect, I'm not really going to go into that because, as you can see, I haven't really done much to it visually. All I've done is painted it blue and fitted the flat floor. That's it. I tried fitting it with the wing and the body kit, but it just looked cheesy. So I went for this relatively standard look, but like I said, with the flat floor for a higher PP, greater traction and grip and downforce, and also because it just gives it a more competitive look from the back with the diffuser. So we'll now go over to the tuning garage for the most important aspect, which is of course the mechanical side of things, and then we'll go out to the track to see how it performs. So as far as our mechanical setup, obviously we're going to be using it on a dirt track, so we've fitted dirt tyres obviously. For the suspension we've got the ride height as high as possible, front and rear. Springs have increased a little bit up to 6 and 525, dampers to 4, anti-roll to 5. We do have a little bit of camber on this one, but not that much because you don't need a huge amount. You don't have to have any if you don't want to, but I've gone for 1 front and rear. Neutral toe as always. For the gearbox we've got an auto setting of 180, then we've rounded off the individual gears to 3375, 2300, 1690, 1300, 1050 and 890 with a final drive of 4.1. For the diff, we've got the highest initial torque on the back, lowest on the front, highest acceleration bias and lowest braking bias, and for the centre diff we've got a 35-65 split. Obviously you need to tailor that to your personal driving style, that's just obviously where I've got it. As far as the power, we do have an oil change. You want your stage 3 engine tune, the race exhaust and the low RPM turbo, and then we've restricted the power down for this setup to 69.5%. Obviously you can have as much power as you want, but I've really purpose made this tune to work around this specific power output. You want all of your weight loss, and then we've got a relatively small ballast of 10 kilos, and we've put that all the way to the front of the car to improve the weight balance for getting the tail out around corners and for holding it in that position. So that's it for the mechanical side of things. Now let's go over to the track to see how it performs. Now the Skyline is obviously a renowned monster for tarmac based racing, formidable opponent in any case of opposition, but what about on a dirt track? Because it's all-wheel drive and it is already a high performance vehicle, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it will make a good rally car. Well, in the case of this Skyline, yes, I'd say it definitely does make a good rally car. Obviously I can't speak for the other models of Skyline because I haven't built those as rally cars. But of course this Skyline, as I just said, feels very much at home as a rally car, and also of course the first episode of this series was also for a GT-R, the R35 generation, which as well makes an awesome rally car. Now this car, although as we said was never an officially, or as far as I know, never an officially Nissan-backed rally car, and certainly wasn't a Group B machine, it makes a very good Group B style rally car. The weight balance is excellent on this model of the Skyline in particular, and it's just perfect for rallying. You've got plenty of ground clearance, the proportions are great, the length and weight distribution are perfect for getting the back end out and holding it around corners. At the same time, the performance is more than enough, but not so much that it's difficult to drive, and overall it just makes an excellent rally car in my opinion. As far as how competitive it would be, Well, I don't know. I haven't actually raced it against other rally cars, but in terms of lap times, it is definitely highly competitive against many of the other rally cars. Now, if you do need it to be quicker than it is, feel free to give it more power. This is just the setup that I've gone for, but make sure that you don't go too far with the power, because when you give it so much that it can't cope with it, obviously you'll lose its really advantage of being a rally car. It will become hard to drive, the brakes won't be able to cope with that kind of power, and you'll just lose the nimbleness that really gives this car its competitive edge. So for those of you who do decide to fit this to an R32 Skyline to try it out, or maybe adapt it for a different Skyline if you feel so disposed, I would appreciate feedback on it. Did you find it competitive? Do you find it fun? Do you think it feels good as a rally car? And that's it for this build, so I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.